Hello, I'm Dr. Tony. I want to thank you for subscribing to my channel. Please hit the bell so you can get my notifications. And I'd like to talk today about love. What we're going to talk about today is how your Big 4 process relates to love. Sometimes people have a different feeling about love. What is love? Well, you can never get more out of yourself than what you have in you. Obviously, you can't. So when someone tells me, and a patient says that, well, I don't know how to express love, we always have to go back to, well, what is love to you? And sometimes I'll ask a patient, tell me what love is to you. And they may say to me, well, it's when someone helps me out. Another person may say, well, love is when someone buys me something. Another person is, love could be just when someone's with me and listens to me. So we have all different aspects of love. Now, the Big 4 process, what we have to understand is, I'm always going to talk about the Big 4 process and the subconscious, because that's the name of the game. That is the name of the game, and now with this process, we can find a specific meditation to really help clear things. And I see things happening all the time. So what we have to understand is, if you're a child, and you're from birth to 7 years old, as you're growing up, if you see your mother and father always fighting, you're going to believe that that's love in a way, no matter what society says, because to you, you're going to believe that. Or if the father always buys the mother flowers, you're going to think that love is buying gifts. Or if the father sings songs to your mother, whatever. So we have to understand that what the Big 4 process is, what you think love is not necessarily what the other person thinks love is. I remember one patient I had where he had said, she had said that, well, my husband doesn't love me because he never buys me anything. So then, when we were doing energetics with her, with the Big 4, when I talked to the husband said, it was so funny. He goes, well, I said, well, how do you show you love? Well, I tell her every day I love her. And what happens with that is, growing up, he experienced that. That's what we call auditory, where the one was more visual. So I can tell you I love you every day, but if you have a meta programming that says that you don't love me unless you buy me a gift, then you're not going to mix. It's not going to mix. And that's why they say the honeymoon's over. Well, think about it. When you go on a honeymoon, when you first meet someone, you buy them gifts, you touch them, you tell them you love them, you spend time with them, and then when the honeymoon's over, you fall into what your meta programming is. So in this case, this man always said, well, I tell her every day I love her, that should be enough. Where she's saying, that son of a gun didn't buy me nothing all week. There's no intent here to hurt someone. The intent is to understand. So the point that we have to make with this is, the Big 4 process, we have to go back. And again, what is the Big 4 process? It's when we have the 4-part being, who we are a spiritual being, have a human experience. The Big 4 process is when you have the spiritual, which is the highest vibration, which creates a thought, which creates a mental image, which produces an emotion, which produces a physical change, spontaneous healing, alter matter, paradigm shift, whatever it is. So that is what the Big 4 is, the blending of these 4 different vibrations. And when we find each vibration, we then blend them together to form one. And what I want to show you today a little bit different is, this chart here simply shows about the 4 different blocks. Okay, a spiritual block would be something when someone says, God is useless to me. God took my friend in death. Or why did God let that happen to me? So that would be a spiritual block. Now a mental block would be something like, I am useless. I am worthlessness. I will never make money. That's a mental block. Now an emotion block is one says to themselves, I hate you. What's the use? My father said I'm a loser. That's an emotional block. And then obviously a physical block is very easy, because that's when you have a heart attack, a severe car accident, or you go through and you just fall down and break your wrist, break your arm. That's a physical block, because that's a block that happened in the physical world. Now the physical block is going to occur from the thought creating an emotion, a mental image creating emotion, which alters matter. Because if you think of being depressed all day, guess what's going to happen? You're going to wake up depressed. So what we want to talk about is then is where did you get your programming? So in this case, you can do a block on your, you can do a Big 4 process on you, asking yourself, why do I see love the way I do? And then when you do the process of finding the mental, the emotional, one of the 7 mentals, really, either I love, I am, or I understand, I see, I do, I feel, I speak. When you find a mental block, you can then find the emotion that's blocking it, that you have to change. Say, in this case, it was, I just picked 7th, I understand, 7th energy center. And so let's say the emotion is, now when you do this with the cards home, obviously you don't just pick one out as quick as I am. I don't even have my sacred geometry on, but this should give you an example. So in this case, oh, I understand heartache. So right away, with these two, I know what's going on in a way. And then you pick a block energy field. Let's just pick one here. And this is bladder, and then let's pick the specific organ point. We'll pick out a location, red. So in this case, this hypothetical case, the block would be the bladder right here. This person possibly had bladder problems if the thought was occurring long enough that it altered matter, the physical, by the mental and emotional image. So here we are. So in this case, we could say, well, growing up, he understood heartache more than he understood love. So then he would ask himself, what do I understand about heartache? Where is there heartache? So growing up, maybe at 4 years old, he lost a pet, and the pet meant more to him. Or maybe at 4 years old, whenever, or the perfect example of this one is, as this child is growing up, every time he wants something, the mommy got it for him. And I see this all the time. It's so funny. I remember when I have children older. I remember my son one day, we were in a ShopRite, it was, or some store. We were waiting in line, and he wanted a candy bar. And I said, you can't have that. And he started to scream, and I remember going back, hey, look everyone, my son's acting like a monkey. Grabbing. So the point was, I took away that feeling of him. So he's not going to do that. And today we have parents that give the kids everything. So if you're growing up from 4 years, from birth to 7 years old, and whenever you want something, your parents give it to you, you're going to relate love to gifts. So this is what the Big 4 process can do. Again, I keep these short, but just giving you an idea of what's going on. So in this one here, if you have a auditory love where I love you, you speak a lot and do not buy a gift, you have to make sure your partner has the same feeling, that she doesn't need a gift or he doesn't need a gift. So it's interesting that you understand that. Again, if you have any questions, please email me for questionforhealth@gmail.com. Please visit my website. Again, the book is coming along. I'm upset with it, but it is coming along. I'm getting it. And now, any other questions, please email me and visit the website, findyourblocks.com. Thank you again. Till next time. Thank you.